Alright, so the next step is to make the salt bridges. So first what you want to do is to get one of your petri dishes and take the top off. And you will want to place some plastic wrap and basically wrap the entire bottom. You will want to wrap it in such a way that some of the plastic wrap is overlapping the edges, like so. Once you finish putting the plastic wrap on the bottom of the petri dish, you want to unscrew your tube that you have in between your containers, and you want to place some aluminum foil on one end of the tube. It doesn't matter which one, just place aluminum foil on one end. Once it's secure, the aluminum foil, you want to place the compression fitting vertically on the petri dish, like upright on the petri dish. And after that, just set it aside. Next, you'll want to measure out about, I guess, 100 to 200 milliliters of water. Probably 150 should do, somewhere around there, of water. And just pour it into the pot that you gathered earlier. And using your digital kitchen scale, you will want to measure out some agar. In the materials section it said you need 30 grams of agar. You don't need 30 grams for one microbial fuel cell. 30 grams is for replicates of microbial fuel cells that you can choose to build in the future. But for one microbial fuel cell, I recommend measuring out 5 grams of agar. And once you measure out to 5 grams, set the measured agar aside and measure out 6 grams of salt. Place the pot of water on a stove and bring it to a boil. Once it's nice and boiled, add the agar into the pot and make sure it dissolves nicely. Once it's dissolved, take the pot out of the off the heat, and when it's still warm, add the salt to the agar and water solution and make sure that dissolves nicely. Once the agar and the salt have nicely dissolved, pour the solution into the tubes of the petri dish. So you'll have the tube upright right here, and in the hole on top of the tube you want to pour your mix into the tubes. And once the tubes are stable and they're filled, stable meaning that the tubes, they don't leak or they don't fall over, you want to let it dry for about 10 minutes and move the tubes into the refrigerator. Let the tubes sit in the refrigerator overnight, and these tubes are your salt bridges. So the tube that you have right here, in the end, what you'll have is a solid, tube of agar, and this is to prevent, water or any of the mud escaping to the other side, and it's very, very effective. So once you let them sit in the refrigerator overnight, next day come back and place the salt bridges in a plastic baggie and seal it. This prevents salt bridges from drying out. And take the salt bridges out whenever you're ready to use them. So after this, we will go through on how you can make and obtain your mud samples. Alright, in order to make and obtain your mud samples, first you will want to go to the location of your stream where you found, it has very rich soil. And the sample that you want to pull, it shouldn't be full of rocks, twigs. It should just be rich mud. What you would want to do is tie the nylon rope nice and secure around the middle of the PVC pipe. Next, you'll want to throw the tube into the stream or creek and make sure you have a good hold on the end of the rope, and you want to try to scoop as much of the stream bed as you can. The reason we're doing it this way and not just, putting some gloves on and taking some stream water is that water currents can be stronger than they look, and one wrong move and it can be very dangerous. And also, we don't know what that creek contains. It might contain, harmful materials that could, cause some problems. So we want to avoid that. So that's why we're trying to do it this way. And when you think you've gotten a large enough sample, you want to drag the tube back to shore. Gently tap the pipe with the hammer and transfer the sample into the bucket. Cover the bucket with plastic wrap and set it aside. Make sure you have enough of the benthic sample to fill the anode chamber, and make sure you plan when you're going to use this, retrieve the sample, because you need to use the sample within 24 hours. In addition to collecting the mud, also try to collect some of the stream water in like a milk carton. And for the second mud sample, just use a shovel and try to get some topsoil into the second bucket, and mix some tap water into the topsoil until you get a sludge-like mix, and cover the bucket with plastic wrap and set it aside.